You know, apart from the small things like messaging a girl on Tinder and she doesn't reply, or sending a DM and the girl doesn't reply, I can't think of like a very particular story to tell you of the time that I was ignored by a girl in the early periods of my life. But you know what's interesting? It was actually when I started having sex. That's when girls started to ignore me. This was so interesting. I spent a lot of time when I was 17, 18, 19 years old, even before I had even like actually gotten laid. I was researching these things because, you know, I was researching, wanting to learn, okay, what to do, how to fuck, how to make her orgasm and stuff. I was researching these things, and actually it made me worse, bro. I remember when I first started having sex, this was the first time that consistently girls, they would just ignore me. They would just leave me on red, or sometimes that, you know, they'll lead you on. So, you know, oh, do you want to come see me again on Friday? Oh yeah, Friday's good. And then before Friday, oh, sorry, Friday's there, you know, and she keeps canceling, rescheduling. This started to happen so often, and it was actually fucking me up mentally, because I don't know if this is like too specific or not, if anyone else can relate to this, but what was happening was that, you know, I'd been doing all this research on how to improve my bedroom skills. That seemed like a good idea. The issue with that was that then I became quite neurotically overthinking when it came time to make love. And so what happened then, from age 19 with my first ever girlfriend, then with like some girls that I started like, you know, dating casually, I was a bit of a degenerate back then. I do the hard part of like attracting her, bringing her back, you know, hooking up with her on Tinder or something. She comes over and I'm autistically thinking about the perfect routine that all of like the sex advice guys have told me, okay, do this, do this, do this. And you know what was so interesting? These girls would say, you know, it was a good time with me, whatever. Some girls were literally saying, oh my God, you look like really ecstatic, right? Every single girl afterwards disappeared. Every single one. I did exactly what everyone told me. Even the girls said it was good and everything. And I apologize if this is too vulgar, but this is my real story. And they didn't come back. I got ignored. And one time I realized what this was. I've realized by accident, honestly. So all this time I'd been doing this almost good boy routine of prioritizing her. You know, the advice I saw online for like how to improve your sex life was that you should make her orgasm like 3 times before you even have sex with her. You should do this with your tongue. You should do this with your fingers. You should kiss her all over. You should go slow and all. I did all this, right? One time I just realized, and I was like, oh, I remember I brought a different girl back. And instead of doing this whole routine of, you know, trying to make her like feel good or anything, bro, I just fucked as hard as I possibly could. Literally, it was almost like an ego thing, whatever it was like an aggressive fucking pound. She came back. What I realized, like, you know, the big sort of period of my life when girls were ignoring me, and especially, you know, they'd just disappear, was because I was acting in the same way that every other guy was. You see, every other guy was following this shitty advice online of like, yeah, focus on her, kiss her everywhere, take her just clothes off slowly and make her come, do this, do this. Every other guy was following this advice, and I was just like them. She could go to any other guy and get them to go down on her, no problem. But a girl finding a guy who eventually would fucking pound the fuck out of them aggressively. And I'm talking about shit that you might think like would be too far, like slapping them, spitting in their mouth and stuff, choking them. That's like a special thing. So I don't mean this to be vulgar with telling you that story, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I was just like a normal guy before, maybe even, you know, a guy who's done a bit of research on how to be a good boy in the bedroom and stuff. And it was only when I abandoned all that and went back to my fucking like natural primal desire to dominate, that's when it all changed for me.